Hey, what's crackalacking, people? So let's talk about exclusives. Um, ex- Exclusive games, I feel, are by far one of, if not the biggest reasons why we play on our platforms of choice. Whether in today's gaming world you're a Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, or PC player, in regards to the dominant platforms currently, there's a good chance you play on those systems because of their exclusive games, first and foremost. And why not? These are the players, at least in terms of the console space, who provide you with the content you desire. Unless you're Microsoft. Yeah, joking aside, the console manufacturers, for the most part, do their best to try and make their systems as enticing as possible by creating exclusive content out of their first and second party studios. And so they should, right? It's their platform, and it would be foolish to solely rely on others to make your platform a success in terms of providing content. Exclusive first-party content is welcomed by all with little complaints from anyone. But then we enter the realms of third parties. These companies are the bulk of the gaming world, who for the most part use current platforms on the market to push and sell their software to as many people as possible, because that's where the money is, and everyone likes money and wants their business to be a success, right? Since the dawn of video games, third-party developers have helped hold up consoles and other platforms, not only producing the bulk of video games that we play, but also creating some of the best gaming experiences we've ever had the pleasure of playing. But this is why we love gaming. Multiple great minds and their imaginations creating software that captivates and thrills the world. And since the dawn of gaming, third-party games exclusive to certain platforms have existed. Growing up, I never saw this as an issue. You were lucky to have a console to begin with, and were just happy playing virtually anything you could get your hands on. But as gaming has evolved and become more visible and accepted by the masses, the push to secure exclusive third-party games has intensified, and many console wars erupted, with the platform holders pushing their own first-party content as well as championing any third-party exclusive that they manage to get their hands on for whatever reasons. Sometimes due to the technology at hand, other times due to the unique nature of a given platform, and many times because money was quietly put under the table to ensure that the game went nowhere else other than their platform. All these scenarios still exist today, of course, and without going into the full history of consoles and exclusives, I'd like to focus on today's current climate, how I personally feel about third-party exclusives, and most importantly, hear all your thoughts on where you stand with third-party exclusives. This is a discussion I could have brought up any time, but it was triggered again when I was having a chat with the FGR elites, the best Street Fighter players in the whole world, people. We were talking about Persona 5. We all own it on the PlayStation 4, me and my friends, but I have yet to really start playing the game, mostly because my patience for even turning on the PlayStation 4 has over time been pushed to the edge. So the conversation naturally led onto the latest console on the market, a console currently in a generation of its own, the Nintendo Switch, of course, where I said a part of me is still hoping that we will see a port of Persona 5 to that platform. The platform that for me and many is now their prime system because of its versatile nature. And in my mind I thought, why shouldn't Persona 5 come to the Nintendo Switch? It's not a first-party Sony title. The series has been on the DS and 3DS in the past, albeit with slight spin-offs, and the Switch is more than capable of running the game well enough. And given the success of Persona 5 and the success of the Nintendo Switch, I thought it would be a no-brainer for Atlus, from a business perspective, to port this game to the console. But my friends quickly pointed out to me a tweet from John Hardin, who was the PR manager for Atlus USA. And I say was because after some further investigation, he tweeted this response back in January 2017, and then a month later he tweeted that he was leaving the company, still to remain in gaming, but I'm not sure where he's gone now. Anyway, as you can see on the screen in regards to Persona 5 and even Yakuza 0 from Sega, he quite firmly states that both of these games are only coming to the PlayStation 4. No Nintendo Switch, no PC. Doesn't even mention Microsoft, but not many people do today. Oh, sorry, I give Microsoft a hard time here. So, here we have a very popular Japanese RPG series from a third party being exclusive to a single platform, and for what reasons I do not know. Naturally, I'm the type of person to speculate on why this may be, and most of the time in such cases like this, it comes down to me believing that money was clearly put under the table. Why, you might ask? Because like I said, Persona is a big series in the land of the rising sun, and it's also a big battleground for both Nintendo and Sony, Japan that is. The same goes for other series like Monster Hunter, Final Fantasy, and Dragon Quest, to name a few. Most of the time, whoever has these series on their platforms, success follows for all parties involved. So I continue to ask myself, what makes the PS4 so special that only it should have Persona 5, seemingly forever? Did Atlus make so much money off that one platform for this title that they can sit back and retire happily? Continue trying to create the next game in a series. Are they such good friends with Sony that they don't want to betray them and put it on other platforms? But I'm sorry, people, but like I said before, these are businesses, and as much as we'd like to believe that they love us as friends, they, at the end of the day, want to make as much money as possible. So I go back to my original speculation and say that Sony most likely gave Atlus a nice chunk of cash for that game to remain exclusive to their platforms. Sometimes you get good answers as to why these exclusives happen. Other times you don't. I haven't seen any good reason why Persona 5 was chosen as an exclusive to the PlayStation 4 this time around, based off the platforms currently on the market. Atlus have another exclusive game coming to the Nintendo Switch in the same universe, which is Shin Megami Tensei. Now, whether Nintendo paid under the table or not, at least Atlus came out with a reason for this one and said they wanted to put this game on a HD portable device, and the Nintendo Switch fitted the bill. In regards to third-party exclusives, like I said, this is where you truly feel that they make no business sense whatsoever, or, as I mentioned before, that the platform itself isn't unique enough to warrant that game as an exclusive. Third-party exclusives like this get to me. I'm not gonna lie. And in today's gaming world, I simply feel that they shouldn't, for the most part, even exist anymore. So, what other type of third-party exclusives exist? We have situations as recent ones like Bayonetta 2 on the Nintendo Wii U. The first game was once multi-platform, but then, as we know, the sequel was funded by Nintendo and remained exclusive to their platforms. Do I have an issue with third-party exclusives like this? No. For the most part, because, as we know, that sequel would have never existed if a major platform holder, this time being Nintendo, didn't step up and help fund the game's very existence. So in that regards, it deserves to be an exclusive. Should the third Bayonetta game be an exclusive? Once again, it all depends on whether Platinum were able to even fund the third game, and and Nintendo stepped up again. Or we could argue that Nintendo already decided to fund both games from the start as part of them technically saving Bayonetta as a series. Perhaps we'll find out more at a later date about that type of scenario. Then you have timed exclusives. Games like Rise of the Tomb Raider, as an example, which was exclusive to the Xbox One for, if I remember correctly, it was almost like a year. As we know, Tomb Raider has always been a multi-platform series, and Microsoft securing that series as an exclusive for such a length of time, I personally found to be wrong. And in regards to the Xbox, the game barely helped that platform, so you have to wonder how much money Microsoft paid for that timed exclusive and whether it was worth it in the end or not. Another dark side to the industry, or many other industries in fact, where simply securing a name is more important than what it might return financially. Look no further than Microsoft's acquisition of Rare, where they actually thought they were buying Donkey Kong, as we all know. Then we have exclusives that take advantage of a unique nature of a console. Now I feel that for most of the time, these types of exclusives you will find more on Nintendo consoles of late, mostly due to Nintendo's hardware choices, along with inputs, etc. These in part I don't have a problem with, because at the end of the day, you have to look at the vision of what the developer wants to achieve, and if they feel that the vision would be best represented on a specific platform due to its unique hardware configuration, then we as consumers, I feel that we should try to respect that vision. If a game is truly too technically advanced for a certain platform, then yeah, you have to go with a certain choice, I suppose. But then at the same time, those developers are once again restricting themselves to a certain market, and once again you have to wonder, will they see the return on such an investment? But that's another debate as well. Yeah, this is one of those conversations that could go on forever, based off the types of exclusives that happen and the amount of exclusive games that have existed and still to continue to exist today. I've given my thoughts on a small sampling of games and the major types of third-party exclusives that normally happen, but of course I break out these general discussions to hear all your thoughts on these things. So please fire out your thoughts in the comment section, and as always, I promise to reply to every single one of you who leave a comment, good or bad. As always, thanks for listening, and take care. Peace.